Welcome! Today, we're counting down our picks for the best motorcycle games that you should check out, and without further ado, let's dive right in.
I malfunction!
LocoCycle. I know. You're probably wondering, what the hell is this game? Well, you're watching a video on motorcycle games, so that means any games about motorcycles go, whether it's racing, open world driving, or even this one. In short, this one is about a sentient motorcycle that drags its Spanish-speaking mechanic throughout America. Anyway, despite its unpopularity among video game critics, this game is actually very fun, especially when you see it as a game to be played with your friends, if you have friends of course, while taking turns to see who's better at it. MX vs ATV Legends. This game is definitely a step up from before, but let's keep it real. It's far from perfect. They've updated the whips and tweaked some physics, but there's still work to be done. The grip and berms and the whoop physics? Yeah, they need some serious attention, and whether this game is good or not is totally subjective. So if you're in it for the simple and fun dirt biking experience or just love the series, give it a go, but don't expect a flawless experience just yet. Moto Racer 4. Sure, this game is not realistic enough for some, but hey, Moto Racer was never about realism. It's all about that over-the-top, rally-style action. A lot of the critics weren't even around for the originals. They're too young. If you loved the original Moto Racer games, this is your spiritual revisit. It's fast, it's gorgeous, and it's low on setup time. Perfect for a quick grab-and-go racing fix. And while it might not be a AAA title, it still looks great and runs at breakneck speeds. Plus, it's a blast to play against a friend. Dakar 18. Modeled after the legendary annual rally raid by Amori Sport organization in South America, this game offers a hardcore, true-to-life simulation of the world's biggest cross-country rally. However, the simulation focuses on the racing aspect, not the vehicle physics. So, remember that. Anyway, with a lineup that includes motorcycles, cars, trucks, quads, and UTVs, you're in for some intense online multiplayer showdowns and offline races. Now you can finally know what it's like to ride a bike in the middle of a desert, all while sitting comfortably in your basement. Motorbike Evolution 2024. The dev said that this is the first ever true MMO motorbike racing game. I don't know what that means, but I think the game is quite fun to play. Anyway, when you first start, you'll be racing on very old school motorcycles. Think of the grandfathers of modern bikes, and as you progress, you'll get to upgrade your ride and switch to a more modern one. Moreover, the game features 80 motorbikes from 120 years of history, and although it's not a motorbike simulator, it still has some physics, so take that in mind. Overall, this is a unique one. TrackDayR. If you loved Assetto Corsa, you might want to check this one out. It aims to be a complete motorcycle simulator, allowing you to ride every type of motorbike. Not only that, the concept of being able to mod in any motorcycle and every track is also super appealing. The developers are active and consistently rolling out updates, and you can genuinely feel the improvements with each one. So if you're into the modding scene and love a good project, give this one a try. Just keep in mind it's a work in progress, but the potential is huge. SBK22. Some of you are hardcore MotoGP fans, and some of you, well, are hardcore superbike fans. Well, if you're the latter, this one is for you, although it comes with a caveat. Essentially, this game is a reskinned MotoGP 22, but with super bikes instead of MotoGP bikes. Don't worry though, because while the visuals are very similar, the physics are quite different. Similar, but different. So if you think being a hardcore superbike fan justifies getting this game, keep an eye out for this one, because it often goes on sale. The Crew 2. Now this is one of the best games when it comes to open world driving, or in this case, riding. That's right, cruising around the beautiful world while riding the virtual versions of bikes you cannot afford in real life feels so good in this game. And although it has a racing element, the game's popularity is boosted by many YouTubers showcasing their PCs producing gameplay in maximum graphics. So, if you value stunning graphics and enjoy cruising around in an open world setting on your favorite sport bike, check out this game. Dakar Desert Rally. This game is a bit of a wild ride and definitely not your typical stage rally experience. The simulation is in the navigation and orientation aspect, not the driving or riding. In arcade mode, the game is heavily assisted with mass starts, which means a lot of AI cars and bikes to bump into. It's chaotic but fun if you like that sort of thing. Pro mode, on the other hand, gives you a staggered start and is closer to the real Dakar experience. Here, understanding the roadbooks is crucial, so start learning them. TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge 3. This bike sim takes the technology and physics from its predecessor and cranks it up a notch. Compared to the second title, it's a noticeable step up in how it feels. One of the best improvements is how approachable the game is now. There are 3 presets for physics difficulty: beginner, intermediate, and realistic. But don't worry if that sounds too restrictive. You can fine-tune these settings to your liking, and your rival's abilities remain separate. Plus, you can tweak aids like traction control or the anti-wheelie system on the fly using the directional pad. Road Redemption. This game is here to scratch that road rash itch with a vengeance. Imagine racing at insane speeds, smashing rivals to bits with an arsenal of weapons, all set in a gritty, post-apocalyptic world. The controls is tighter than your favorite pair of jeans. And the combat? Oh boy, it's satisfyingly brutal. And with a campaign that sucks you right into the chaos and multiplayer options to keep the adrenaline pumping, Road Redemption is pure, unadulterated fun. If you live for high-octane motorcycle mayhem, this game is an absolute must-play.
Gotta get it now!
Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 6. In this version, they've beefed up the bikes, making them stick better to the track, which adds a touch of realism. However, there's a bit of a dilemma with scrubbing or whipping. It's hit or miss, literally. And let's be honest, sometimes the physics can be wonky, sending you flying off your bike for reasons that defy logic. But here's the deal. Crank up that AI, turn off those assists, and suddenly the game shines. The bikes will handle realistically, allowing you to find that sweet flow you've been craving since the old days. MX vs ATV Reflex. Reflex was the GOAT back in the day, but let's face it, if you're picking it up now for the first time, you might not feel the same magic. Nostalgia can really color our memories of older games compared to what's out there now. Games have come a long way in terms of graphics, mechanics, and overall polish since Reflex first hit the scene. That said, if you can appreciate it for what it was, it's still a great game. But if you're new to it, manage those expectations and remember, it's a product of its time. MXGP Bikes. This game is one of the go-tos when it comes to simulating motorcycle physics on PC. The base content isn't the richest, but once you dive into modding and hit the track with other players, it's a whole new level of racing satisfaction. Sure, development can be slow with just one person handling a few complex simulations, but where it stands today is a monumental achievement. Overall, I wholeheartedly recommend this title. Once you get hooked, even if you initially think you might not like it, you'll find yourself coming back for just one more session time and time again. Rims Racing. When you're playing this game, the racing feels exhilarating. There's a satisfying array of bikes and tracks that really amp up the excitement. However, things take a turn when you have to deal with vehicle maintenance. The game introduces quick-time events during pit stops that can feel tedious and disrupt the flow of races. But here's the silver lining. Despite these drawbacks, the game features a solid free-play mode for multiplayer racing. This mode ditches much of the maintenance fluff, allowing you to focus purely on the thrill of competitive racing with friends. MXGP 2021, the official motocross video game. This title sticks to the familiar gameplay mechanics of its predecessors while making improvements over the previous installment. Compared to MXGP 2020, the handling is noticeably smoother and less finicky, similar to MXGP 2019. This might not sound like a huge change, but it definitely enhances the overall racing experience, particularly for those who have been with the series for a while. Overall, while it doesn't reinvent the wheel, it brings incremental improvements and delivers a polished experience for motocross racing enthusiasts. So, if you're a fan of the series, you'll likely appreciate these refinements. Days Gone. Now, I know some of you might think I'm trolling by including this game in this video, but seriously, just look at the gameplay. You're practically inseparable from your bike throughout the gameplay. In this game, your bike plays a crucial role in ensuring your survival while being chased by zombies or chasing thieves through the post-apocalyptic world. You can even upgrade it so you can fare better and longer. In short, you should seriously consider this game if you want to ride a bike in an open-world setting while still being able to do other things. The Crew Motorfest. Motorfest may not be a proper motorcycle game, but it's great for just riding sport bikes and exploring the world. And if you're okay with that, then this is the game for you. And while its map may lack the scale and variety of its predecessors, it makes up for it with a lot of other things, like vehicles variety and exceptional graphics. Overall, if you're into a racing game that can also serve as just a casual motorcycle game located in a beautifully created world, then this game might be worth checking out. MotoGP 24. Unlike other annual racing games, this one is already an improvement from last year's iteration right from the get-go. It's definitely worth checking out. They've really dialed in the bike handling, so you're not eating dirt as often. I mean, who doesn't appreciate fewer crashes, right? And if you're a MotoGP fan, this game's a dream. Knowing the riders' names and the tracks really amps up the fun factor, and despite some hiccups, I'm still giving this game a thumbs up. It's fun, it's challenging, and I can see myself clocking in hundreds of hours. MX Bikes. This title stands out as a realistic motocross simulator, boasting a meticulously crafted physics engine that faithfully replicates motorcycle dynamics and setup choices. And with the ability to host and participate in online races, it gathers data during events, offering statistics for rider comparisons. However, it's important to note that MX Bikes lacks both AI opponents and a career mode. It's an online-only racing thing, but in a good way. Oh, and one more thing, for those new to this game, expect some frustration before you fully enjoy it. Ride 5. This game takes a no-nonsense approach to motorcycle racing, firmly planting itself in the realm of realistic simulation rather than arcade-style action. From the get-go, the game throws you into the thick of it, requiring completion of time trial laps before delving into the rest of the content. But here's the twist. Unlike its predecessor, this one cuts you some slack. Gone are the days of sweating bullets over every minor mistake that could ruin your lap. It's a bit more forgiving, allowing you to breathe and enjoy the ride. Trials Rising. This game is more like a side-scrolling physics platformer where we control trial bikes and various dirt bikes. While it may not replicate the feeling of riding a bike, it excels in introducing some of the coolest levels along with an improved tutorial system for mastering difficult techniques. However, the wide variety of tracks is hindered by a frustrating unlocking process and some odd design choices that can be discouraging. Still, the satisfaction of striving for better medals keeps you coming back for more attempts at reaching the finish line. Cyberpunk 2077. No, I'm not trolling again, because this game offers one of the best virtual motorcycle riding experiences available today. I mean, just take a look at some of the graphics mods that went viral a few months ago. They made all the vehicles look incredibly realistic. Of course, don't expect any sort of realism when it comes to the riding physics. This is an open-world action RPG first and foremost after all, but if you're into cruising around on cool, high-tech, futuristic motorcycles in a cyberpunk setting, then look no further. Grand Theft Auto 4: The Lost and Damned. Remember how driving in GTA 4 was challenging for most people? That's because the driving and riding physics were more realistic compared to other games of its time. Then, Rockstar released 2 additional DLCs, and this one is one of them. The game revolves around you being a member of an outlaw biker gang, with most missions involving riding around on a chopper and engaging in shootouts. It's as simple as that. By the way, the riding is quite challenging at first, but stick with it and you'll regret not playing this when it was released.
This is gonna be fun. Johnny, get me out of here. Out there. Oh, you all.
Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, before you get offended again, hear me out. It turns out we can turn this open world game into a casual bike riding simulator by installing a few mods. Okay, I'll admit, it won't become a full-fledged bike sim, but it's a ton of fun to play, especially if you also install the ultra-realistic graphics mods and realistic vehicle mods. That way, you can pretend you're riding sport bikes in first person through a fictional Los Angeles while you're actually just sitting in front of a screen in your room. But seriously, you need to try it out. So do you agree with our picks? Check out these other videos from us and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.